let's see. We don't have a lot of news, but we do have some. So let's get to the news.
Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Alpha South American. All the ships and clippers at sea. Let's go to press.
News. There is first thing we're going to talk about is some expansions that are going to be coming. Jagged Earth. If you guys like Spirit Island, Maddie is notoriously allergic to cooperative games, but if you like cooperative games, Spirit Island is quite a good one. And they have a new expansion called Jagged Earth that is coming out from the same designers. It's going to be published by Greater Than Games. And basically, Jagged Earth is going to add variety. It's going to add some new challenges. It's going to be able to play up to 6 players, which is a big deal for our group. The original Spirit Island only played 4 players. So being able to play 6 players, to have new scenarios that are going to change things, new event cards, which are a big factor in terms of how the game plays out, is also there. So there you go. Look forward to it coming out fairly soon. Jagged Earth. Next up, we have Gugong Panjun is the first expansion for Gugong. Gugong is a game that I didn't love, but I definitely liked, and it's certainly a very, very well-made game where we are Chinese businessmen, powerful families, and we're trying to bribe different officials in various places with different goods. I remember playing this with you, right, Jesse?
Yeah, I'm actually looking it up now. I know he did. I'm trying to picture it.
It's the one where each each one of the you can build the Great Wall, and you can move your boats down the river
sail,
on the bottom of the board.
Exactly.
And each time you're trading one good for another. You're giving them this good, and you're getting that good instead. And sort of there's a hierarchy to the value of these various goods and
trading up.
Yeah, it's a very interesting game design. It's really quite good. I just didn't. I think I'm at a point now in my gaming collection where it's really got to ring a bell pretty hard for me to be super, super excited about it. But I definitely have nothing bad to say about it. It's a very good game.
It's like Netflix when people are saying like, "Oh, have you seen this show?" And I look up on IMDb, and if it's like not in the 8.0s or higher, I'm sorry, I just don't have time.
yeah, I get that. Yeah, we are drowning in choice, so we have to choose that. So new things in this expansion, in the Panjun expansion, there is a Summer Palace, which is a new location you can travel to, where you can get. Here's another place to get jade. Jade was one of those things in the game. I don't know if you remember, Jesse, but it was sort of a trap. It was sort of a, hey, here, play the jade game, and everyone who played the jade game seemed to lose. So maybe.
Well, if multiple people went for it, right?
Yeah.
If you were the lone going for it, then it was a viable strategy, from what I recall.
That could be.
Set collection, right?
But that's a really dangerous strategy to go for if you're like hoping, trying to bank on being the only person going to this one, space that seems to be good. Anyway, with the Summer Palace, there's going to be another opportunity to get jade, and maybe jade strategy is going to improve because of that.
Right.
There's also a Peasants Revolt, which is, I think, going to be an event where you can gain support of the peasants, but if you push them too far, it sounds like a little bit of a press your luck element, where eventually the peasants can rise up and everybody has to work together to stop them from ruining everything that you've created, which is interesting. There's a location called the Palace Stair where you're going to move your envoy toward the emperor, and there are going to be extra decrees and extra gift cards, which, as we remember, is one of the fun things about the game. So Panjun, it sounds like a pretty good expansion in terms of the things that it adds. And Andreas Steding, who created Gugong, I think is a very good designer. Gugong is a very good designer, and I look forward to the next thing that he comes out with.
Yeah.
Then this is my favorite news of the week. My favorite news of the week is a new thing on Kickstarter. I feel bad talking about things on Kickstarter right now because who knows how long is it going to be before this comes out? How long are we going to have to wait for this? Or should we even be kicking anything right now?
By the way, before you go into that, Blood in the Clock Tower, the designers did a post. They said that they are not affected by the COVID thing.
Is that right?
They are still planning to release. Like, they've been pushed a bunch of times.
Yes, they have. Yeah.
They're set for like September now. but they said that they don't anticipate that being pushed anymore.
Do you know if
At least because of this.
is there a game made in China or?
I think it is.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know.
Because I don't know of any game that is. They're from Australia, and I don't know of any game production facilities in Australia. So yeah,
Right.
Interesting, huh? Well, that's really good news. But on Kickstarter, 24 days to go. It had a pledged goal of $39,000, and they're currently at $85,000. So it is kicked. I got to tell you, I love this. John Carpenter's They Live, the board game. Assault on Cable 54. Which, by the way, is itself a pun because John Carpenter's first movie was Assault on Precinct 13. So Assault on Cable 54 is the cable channel that they attacked in They Live. If you don't know what They Live is, it is one of the best, most bonkers, most just good bad movies you will ever see in your life. It is stars.
Is that like 84?
I feel like it was later than 84, but I can't say for sure what the date is. Maybe you look it up while I tell you about the basics.
88.
88. There we go. It stars Rowdy Roddy Piper, the wrestler. Keith David, I believe, is his sidekick. I think they're the 1 and 2 in the thing. And it is about a drifter who is going from town to town just trying to find construction jobs while, the Reagan Republicans are, just amassing all of this wealth and the haves and the have-nots. There's no trickle-down happening. And then all of a sudden he gets a pair of sunglasses and puts them on. And these are not any ordinary sunglasses. Suddenly he can see the world for the way it really is, which is... all the billboards and the signs, instead of be advertising
Obey.
Coca-Cola, are saying obey, sleep, and all that sort of stuff. And a certain
Is that where that term came from, by the way? Like the obey thing that you see everywhere in that guy's face?
Yes, that is where it came from. And some of the people are aliens, and all of the aliens are these very rich people who are just saying the most awful things about, the poor have to lift themselves up by their own bootstraps and blah, 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 blah. A wonderful polemic positing that an alien invasion happened, and it is the Reagan Revolution. It is a bonkers movie. It looks like a bonkers game. It definitely looks like the kind of game that Prospero Hall has been putting out. The Top Gun game, the Jaws game, where they're having fun with what the game is and really not taking it too seriously and having a lot of fun. So you are going to play either as a human or an invader. If you're an invader, you're one of the aliens. If you're not, you're not. You're going to try and gather items. Both parties are going to try and gather items. You're going to try to level up your characters and learn more about your story. So it's got a story game element, a small story game element. You're going to try to uncover invaders if you are humans and take them out, which is a player versus player aspect to the game, which is interesting. Whereas the invaders are trying to maintain your cover and cast doubt on others. So hidden traitor mechanic sounds great right there. You're going to sabotage assets. If you're the invaders, you're going to try to build up resistance locations if you're a good guy. And once you acquire glasses, the game is going to come with sunglasses.
That's amazing.
And you put the glasses on, and the cards that everybody is dealt out have hidden messages on them when you look at them through the glasses.
Wow.
And the identity cards for each player... each character has 2 different identity cards, a bad guy identity card and a good guy identity card. And some of the tools, some of the items have secret information on them too. So the cards that you get, like, oh, I got a pistol. Oh, great. What if it has a tracking device on it or something along those lines?
That's awesome.
I love this, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound awesome? Now,
I hope it's good.
I hope it's good as well. I don't know the designers at all. It is the pledges are in Great British pounds, so I think they're a British concern. But in terms of their ambition, in terms of the way they see this game, it sounds like they're doing a very ambitious thing, and it sounds like a heck of a lot of fun. And I can't wait until this thing comes out. I'm really looking forward to it.
Fun. That's cool.
Yeah. One other Kickstarter item we'll talk about. This is a game called Aquanauts. Aquanauts just kicked. It was a pledge of $30,000 was the goal. 36,000 is where it's at. By the time you hear this, it's going to have about 4 days left to go. It looks interesting. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say don't back Aquanauts at this point. I will say a couple of reasons why. When a Kickstarter comes out and it says, keep your eyes peeled for an update where we'll release the PDF rulebook, that gives me concern, right? I want to be able to get a better idea why are you putting this Kickstarter out now when the rules aren't there yet? There are sculpts that they talk about. They're going to have submersibles and things like that, but they don't have, you're paying for miniatures and they don't have any miniatures to see on the website. That's a problem. And the third thing is that this company that's doing it, they have inside the box board games have 4 Kickstarters that they have done, and none of them have been fulfilled yet. That's a concern for me. That's a concern when you have that many games that are in your pipeline, and we haven't seen one of them come out yet. Like where's the proof of concept? Where's the proof that as a company you guys can do what you're saying you can do? If it was your first one, people will know and they'll look and they'll say, okay, do I take a chance on this or do I not? But then to double down, triple down, and quadruple down on this, I just don't. It gives me a feeling that even though I like the artwork, even though I like what they're talking about in terms of the idea of this game, it gives me a little too much pause. So I personally am going to stay away from it.
Well, along that note, with this COVID thing going on right here, how are we supporting our local, game stores? People are going to be ordering things on Amazon. They don't want to go out of the house. And then there's going to be a lot of businesses that are going to cave, and they're telling people to order from restaurants for delivery or pickup.
Sure.
And hopefully people are going to be supporting their local game stores.
Yes. Well, we did talk about it a few times recently. So, but you're absolutely right. We should bring this up again. We should remind people that one of the things you could do is a lot of these places sell gift certificates. So you can buy a gift certificate from your game store. Call them up and see if you can do that remotely, and they will give you store credit. And then later on, when things are back, you can do that. But more to the point, I think it was last week we said that there is a list out of publishers that are ready to support the friendly local game stores, and they're going to do it by if you buy a game directly from them, they are going to pass on 25% of the retail price to those game stores. Highly recommend that you look up that list, and it was put out by Gamma, which was the trade show for board games. Yeah, buy games from those folks if you can, and the more we can do to support that, the better.
And then I sort of counter to that. Have you heard of the Amazon's deal right now? They're calling it a 3-for-1. It's actually buy 2 get 1 free.
Yes.
If you put 3 in your cart, then the third one's free, the lowest one.
And that includes some video games and some board games, correct?
Right. But support your local game stores.
Indeed. We talked last week about Portal Games, who put out a free game of Detective that you didn't even need to own the game Detective to play. We thought that was a really sweet thing. It turns out that there's a bunch of other places that are putting out free print and play versions of their games, free scenarios, free RPG rule books, and all sorts of stuff like that. So we just wanted to talk about a few of those and just let you know what's out there right now. For me personally, I think this is one of the best things creative people can do. They can just, do some giveaways and just use their creativity to give people a lot of options for things that they can do while we're locked down. One is a board game called Corinth. Corinth has basically a print and play version of it, and all you're going to need to do is download some files and get 12 regular dice, and you'll be able to play that, which is kind of cool. C3I Magazine, which is a magazine for wargamers, is going to give everyone who contacts them a free ebook for the next week or two that you're going to be able to download. And all of these books, they always have a little game in them. And this one is a full game called Battle for Moscow, 2nd edition. which you could print out and boom, guess what? Suddenly you have a war game for free without leaving your home. Osprey Games has a game called Frostgrave that they're going to be able to give you free PDFs with a code for. Osprey Publishing also is doing a lot of Osprey Publishing, which is different than Osprey Games, is putting out ebooks, and these ebooks are for grognards. These are things on the Battle of Waterloo or U.S. heavy cruisers or Blackbeard's last fight and all sorts of stuff like that. For some grognards, that is crack cocaine. That is your favorite thing to do and to look at and to listen to. So check it out. And Portal Games, we talked about last week that they were putting out a free game of detective. Turns out they're also releasing print and play scenarios for Imperial Settlers, Empire of the North, Hiroshima Next, Imperial Settlers Roll and Write, and Pret-a-Porter. So all of those are going to have some stuff out there. Even Explorers, even the Explorers of the North Sea, it sounds like they are going to have a free print and play mini expansion for Explorers that's coming out. So check it out. At the end of the day, I think the news is mostly good. It's mostly people that are pulling together and trying to help out their fellow man and just to do a little something to bring a little extra kindness into the world at a time when we can really need it. So I think that's really great.
Hey, if you enjoyed that video, you very well might enjoy the other videos you now see being suggested to you on screen. Also, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could like, share, or subscribe to our Game Brain channel. Thanks so much.